Welcome to the first video of the channel, and today I want to dive straight into a concept that might sound a little bit depressing at first, but I promise you it is the absolute most freeing realization you will ever have in your entire life. Nobody actually cares about you. I don't mean your family or your closest friends. I mean the rest of the world, strangers, your classmates, the people you pass on the street. They simply do not care. And understanding this is quite literally the greatest advantage you can have right now. Think about how many times you have walked into a grocery store, or the gym, or the cafeteria at school, and you suddenly felt like every single pair of eyes in the room just locked onto you, analyzing your every move. You start overthinking how you are walking, wondering if you are swinging your arms too much, if your posture is weird, or if you look awkward, and so you instinctively pull out your phone and just start scrolling through your home screen, staring at nothing, just so you do not have to make eye contact with anybody. It is called the spotlight effect, and our generation, especially young guys, suffers from this crippling social anxiety because they have developed this massive main character syndrome where they genuinely believe the world revolves around them and that everyone is constantly judging their every flaw. Because of this, so many guys refuse to try something new, like starting a YouTube channel or going to the gym, because they are terrified of being laughed at. When in reality, the guy benching 225 at the gym is not looking at you. He is staring at his own pump in the mirror and could not care less that you are struggling with the bar. To cope with this overwhelming feeling of being watched, a lot of guys develop this really weird defense mechanism I call the cold robot syndrome, where they watch all these internet edits and convince themselves that the absolute peak of masculinity is acting like an unbothered, emotionless wall. They sit in the back of the classroom with their hoods up, arms crossed, trying to act mysterious and hoping people think they are some Sigma mastermind. But I promise you, nobody is wondering what you are thinking about. They just think you are deeply unapproachable and lack basic social skills. Trying to act like a cold robot to look cool is not a flex. It is actually just intense insecurity disguised as confidence, proving that you are so terrified of what other people think that you completely shut down your actual personality to protect yourself. But here is the massive reality check that will completely cure your social anxiety if you actually internalize it. Every single person in that room is the main character of their own movie, obsessing over their own insecurities 24/7. When you walk past someone in the mall, they are not judging your outfit. They are worrying about if their own hair looks good, stressing over an argument they just had, or panicking about a test they have tomorrow. Human beings are inherently selfish creatures, and if everyone is entirely consumed by their own internal monologue, that means absolutely nobody has the mental capacity or the energy to worry about you. And the second you truly realize that, the invisible weight on your shoulders just vanishes. This realization is your biggest advantage because it means you are completely free to fail. If you want to start a business and it gets 0 views or 0 sales, who cares? Because nobody was watching anyway. And if you want to respectfully go up and talk to someone you find attractive and you get rejected, 5 minutes later they are back to worrying about their own life and everyone who saw it has already forgotten. You have to stop holding yourself back from living a life you actually want to live just because you are terrified of the judgment of people who do not even remember your last name, letting temporary classmates dictate the trajectory of your entire future. You are the pilot in control of your own plane. And if you let the fear of what the passengers think keep your plane grounded, you are going to wake up at 25 years old full of nothing but regret. You have to drop the ego, accept that you are just a regular person, and embrace the beautiful reality that you can be goofy, you can laugh out loud, you can try new hobbies, and you can absolutely suck at something for the first 6 months, and the world is going to keep right on spinning. True freedom is not about acting untouchable. It is about walking into a room, being completely yourself, and not giving a single ounce of energy to what the person next to you might be thinking, finally allowing you to step off the imaginary stage and actually start living your life in the real world. So, my challenge to you after watching this first video is to go out this week and do something that slightly embarrasses you. Raise your hand in class even if you might be wrong, talk to a stranger, or try a new machine at the gym. And watch how the sky does not fall and life just goes on. Thank you so much for tuning in to the very first video on this channel. I genuinely appreciate you taking the time to listen. So if this message resonated with you, drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and I will catch you in the next one. Welcome to the very first video of the channel, and today I want to dive straight into a concept that might sound a little bit depressing at first, but I promise you it is the absolute most freeing realization you will ever have in your entire life. Nobody actually cares about you. I do not mean your family, and I do not mean your absolute closest, most genuine friends. I mean the rest of the world, strangers, your classmates, the people you pass on the street, the people you see at the gym. They simply do not care, and understanding this is quite literally the greatest advantage you can have right now as a young man trying to figure out his life. Think about how many times you have walked into a grocery store, or stepped into a crowded gym, or walked into the cafeteria at school, and you suddenly felt like every single pair of eyes in the room just locked onto you, analyzing your every move and judging every single flaw you have. You start overthinking the most basic human functions, wondering if you are swinging your arms too much when you walk, if your posture is weird, if your outfit looks cheap, or if you just look inherently awkward, and so you instinctively pull out your phone and just start scrolling through your home screen, staring at absolutely nothing, swiping back and forth between empty pages just so you do not have to make eye contact with anybody and risk feeling perceived. It is a psychological phenomenon called the spotlight effect, and our generation, especially young guys right now, suffers from this crippling, paralyzing social anxiety because they have developed this massive, overwhelming main character syndrome, where they genuinely, truly believe the world revolves around them, and that everyone is constantly watching their every move like they are the star of some invisible reality television show. We have been so conditioned by social media, by constantly broadcasting our lives on Instagram and TikTok, that we have tricked our primitive brains into believing we are always standing on a brightly lit stage with an audience waiting for us to mess up. Because of this totally fabricated fear, so many guys completely paralyze themselves and refuse to try anything new. They will not start that YouTube channel they have been dreaming about, they will not start a side hustle, and they will absolutely not go to the gym if they are skinny or overweight, because they are terrified of being laughed at. They have this nightmare scenario playing on a loop in their head, where they walk into the weight room, pick up the 20-pound dumbbells, and the entire gym stops what they are doing to point and laugh at them. But let me give you a brutal, honest reality check. The massive guy benching 225 pounds in the corner is not looking at you. He is staring deeply at his own pump in the mirror, entirely consumed by his own workout, and he could not care less that you are struggling to press the empty bar. To cope with this overwhelming, suffocating feeling of being watched, a lot of young guys develop this really weird, unnatural defense mechanism that I like to call the cold robot syndrome, where they consume hours of these dark, edgy internet edits and convince themselves that the absolute peak of masculinity is acting like an unbothered, emotionless, impenetrable brick wall. They sit in the back of the classroom with their hoods up, they cross their arms, they refuse to smile, they stare at the floor, and they try to act incredibly mysterious, hoping that people look at them and think they are some sort of Sigma mastermind with deep, complex thoughts. But I promise you, nobody is looking at the quiet guy in the back of the room wondering what profound philosophy is running through his head. They just think you are deeply unapproachable, insecure, and lack the basic social skills required to function in normal society. Trying to act like a cold, emotionless robot to look cool is not a flex at all. It is actually just intense, crippling insecurity disguised as confidence, proving that you are so absolutely terrified of what other people might think of your true self that you completely shut down your actual personality to protect your fragile ego. You see this everywhere, guys who cannot even hold a basic conversation with a cashier at the grocery store without mumbling and looking at their shoes, all because they are terrified of being judged by someone they will literally never see again. But here's the massive epiphany, the absolute reality check that will completely and permanently cure your social anxiety if you actually sit down and internalize it. Every single person in that room, every person you pass on the street, every classmate, every stranger, is the main character of their own movie, obsessing over their own insecurities 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. When you walk past someone in the mall, they are not judging your outfit or noticing that you tripped slightly on the tile floor. They are worrying about if their own hair looks good. They are stressing over a massive argument they just had with their girlfriend. They are panicking about a math test they have tomorrow, or they are wondering if they left the stove on at home. Human beings are inherently, biologically selfish creatures, entirely consumed by our own internal monologues, our own problems, our own debts, and our own fears. If absolutely everyone is entirely consumed by their own internal world, that means mathematically and logically, absolutely nobody has the mental capacity, the bandwidth, or the energy to worry about you or judge your life. The second you truly realize that, the invisible crushing weight on your shoulders just vanishes into thin air, and you finally understand that the cage you have been living in was entirely built by your own mind. This realization is not depressing. It is actually your biggest, most unfair advantage in life because it means you are completely 100% free to fail without consequence. If you want to start a business, build a clothing brand, or start a YouTube channel, and it gets 0 views, 0 sales, and completely flops, who cares? Nobody was watching anyway. Nobody noticed your failure, and you can just quietly try again tomorrow. If you want to respectfully go up and talk to someone you find attractive and you get rejected, it stings for a second, but 5 minutes later they are back to worrying about their own life, and everyone who saw it happen has already completely forgotten about it and moved on with their day. You have to stop holding yourself back from living a life you actually want to live. Stop killing your own dreams before they even start, just because you are terrified of the judgment of people who do not even remember your last name. It is absolute insanity that you are letting temporary high school classmates, people you will literally never speak to again after you graduate, dictate the entire trajectory of your future, your finances, and your happiness. In 5 years, you will not even have the phone numbers of 99% of the people you are currently trying so desperately to impress. You have to remember the core philosophy of this channel. You are the pilot in control of your own plane. And if you let the fear of what the passengers in the back might be thinking keep your plane grounded on the runway, you are going to wake up at 25, 30, or 40 years old full of nothing but bitter regret, wishing you had just stopped caring and taken the leap. You have to actively decide to drop the ego, accept the humbling reality that you are just a regular, everyday person, and embrace the beautiful, liberating truth that you can be goofy, you can laugh out loud in public, you can try weird new hobbies, you can start a martial art and get absolutely submitted every single day, and you can completely suck at something for the first 6 months, and the world is going to keep right on spinning without skipping a beat. True freedom is not about acting untouchable, looking rich, or being a cold, mysterious robot. True freedom is walking into a crowded room, being completely, unapologetically yourself, and not giving a single, solitary ounce of energy to what the person next to you might be thinking. When you finally allow yourself to step off that imaginary stage and stop performing for an audience that does not exist, you can actually start living your life in the real world, building genuine character, developing actual discipline, and finding a real purpose that is not dependent on external validation. So, my ultimate challenge to you after watching this very first video to prove that you are actually absorbing this advice and not just passively consuming it, is to go out this week and intentionally do something that slightly embarrasses you. Raise your hand in class even if you think you might get the answer wrong. Go to the gym and try a new machine you have never used before. Strike up a conversation with a complete stranger in line at a coffee shop, or post that first video you have been hoarding on your hard drive. Expose yourself to the reality that when you do these things, the sky does not fall, the matrix does not break, nobody points and laughs, and life just goes on exactly as it did before. The spotlight is not real, the audience is an illusion, and the only person keeping you stuck exactly where you are right now is you. Thank you so much for tuning in and giving your time to the very first video on this channel. I genuinely appreciate you sitting through this entire monologue, and I hope it gave you the mental clarity to stop caring about the opinions of ghosts and start building your own reality. If this message resonated with you and you are ready to take extreme ownership of your life, drop a like, hit that subscribe button to join the community, and I will catch you guys in the next one.